In Japanese industrial culture, naming is never just branding, it often carries subtle layers of history, language, and superstition. One of the most well-known examples is tetraphobia, the avoidance of the number 4 due to its pronunciation being similar to the word for death. Over time, this has influenced how companies structure product generations, especially in consumer electronics. Canon, as one of the most established names in imaging, has often been observed following this quiet convention, moving through its lineup in a way that avoids drawing attention to the number 4 in flagship progression. Against that backdrop, the rumored arrival of a Canon EOS R4 feels unusual enough to stand out even before any specifications are considered. It is not just another incremental update in a mirrorless system. The name itself suggests a possible shift in how Canon approaches both symbolism and strategy. More importantly, it hints at a product that may be designed to redefine where Canon stands in the high-resolution segment of professional photography. To understand why this matters, it helps to look at Canon's current EOS R ecosystem. The lineup is already clearly divided by purpose and performance class. At the top end, the EOS R1 and R3 are engineered for speed, prioritizing autofocus responsiveness, burst performance, and reliability for sports and documentary work. The EOS R5 Mark II sits in a more balanced position, offering a hybrid approach that serves both photographers and filmmakers with strong all-around capabilities. However, within this structure, there is still a missing piece, a camera that focuses primarily on extreme resolution without compromise. This gap becomes more obvious when compared with competitors. Sony's A7RV, with its 61-megapixel sensor, has become a benchmark for high-detail full-frame imaging, widely used in commercial photography, landscapes, and studio work. Nikon's Z8 and Z9 reinforce a strong professional ecosystem that balances resolution, speed, and computational processing. Canon, despite its strong presence across other categories, has not yet introduced a dedicated resolution-first flagship that clearly surpasses the hybrid role of the R5 series. The rumored EOS R4 is expected to directly address that absence. According to early industry leaks and supply chain speculation, the Canon EOS R4 may feature an 80-megapixel full-frame stacked sensor. If accurate, this would mark one of the highest resolutions ever attempted in a 35mm format camera. It would place Canon in direct competition not only with Sony and Nikon but also bring it closer to medium format territory in terms of raw detail capture, while still maintaining the speed and flexibility of a mirrorless system. Of course, pushing resolution to this level introduces significant engineering challenges. As pixel count increases, individual pixel size typically decreases, which can negatively affect low-light performance and dynamic range. To counter this, the EOS R4 is expected to use a stacked backside illuminated sensor design. This architecture improves light efficiency by relocating circuitry behind the photodiode layer, allowing more light to be captured by each pixel despite their reduced size. Another key rumored innovation is a new processing system often referred to as a DIGIC accelerator. Unlike traditional image processors that handle post-capture tasks, this component is expected to integrate AI-assisted computation directly into the raw data pipeline. Instead of cleaning up noise after the image is taken, the camera would analyze sensor data in real time during capture, improving tonal accuracy, reducing noise artifacts, and preserving finer detail structure at the point of origin. If implemented effectively, this could redefine how photographers think about high ISO performance. Low-light shooting, traditionally a trade-off between detail and noise, could become significantly more flexible. Images captured at higher sensitivities such as ISO 6400 could potentially resemble the clarity and cleanliness of much lower ISO values, depending on conditions. This would be especially valuable for event photographers, wedding shooters, and documentary professionals working in unpredictable lighting environments. However, the computational demands of an 80-megapixel system are enormous. RAW files at this resolution are already extremely large, often exceeding 100 megabytes per frame. When combined with continuous shooting speeds rumored to reach up to 20 frames per second, the data throughput becomes staggering, requiring the camera to process multiple gigabytes per second in real time. To manage this, the EOS R4 is expected to rely on ultra-fast CF Express Type B storage and a significantly expanded buffer system. Reports suggest the buffer may support over 100 RAW frames before performance slows, allowing sustained bursts even under heavy load. This capability would be critical for wildlife, sports, and action photography, where timing and continuous capture are essential. One of the most practical advantages of such a high-resolution system is cropping flexibility. With an 80-megapixel file, photographers can crop aggressively in post-production while still retaining professional output resolution. Even a 50% crop would still yield around 40 megapixels, effectively extending the reach of lenses without changing optics. This could transform how photographers approach wildlife and sports framing, offering more freedom in composition after capture. Autofocus is another area expected to see a significant evolution. Canon's existing dual-pixel AF system has long been regarded as one of the most reliable autofocus technologies in the industry, but it relies on a 2-photodiode structure per pixel. While effective, it has certain directional limitations that can affect tracking in complex movement scenarios. The rumored Quad Pixel Autofocus system would divide each pixel into 4 independent sensing elements, enabling phase detection across multiple directions simultaneously. This would improve tracking accuracy, especially for subjects moving unpredictably across the frame. When combined with AI-based subject recognition for people, animals, and vehicles, it could result in one of the most advanced autofocus systems ever introduced in a mirrorless camera. From a physical standpoint, the EOS R4 is expected to be positioned between the R3 and R5 Mark II. It would likely feature a slightly larger body than the R5 series to accommodate enhanced thermal management required for high-resolution processing. At the same time, it would avoid the bulk of the R3, aiming for a balanced design suitable for both studio setups and field shooting. The key question now is not whether Canon can build an 80-megapixel full-frame camera, but whether photographers are ready for what that level of detail will demand in real-world workflows.